Hi guys, this is Arif from TechShare. So last day I recorded the video of SXA series. So started working with the first video last time. So it was the SXA number 1 video, which basically I covered to implement this header section. You can see here in this page. So I was trying to convert this template to SXA. So how can we actually go for that? How can we implement? You can take a template. So basically what we normally do is maybe a front-end guy can create the mockup or the design, and as a developer we need to convert that part to the dynamic website. So how can we use the SXA to fast track this kind of development? So that is basically the idea. So here you can see this is the header section. Yes, last time I actually showed how can you actually drag and drop different component and you can create this kind of mockup. The item and the design will come later, so don't worry about that one. And then today the similar kind of thing I did for the footer section. So if you see here the footer, so footer is basically something like this. So you have this kind of design. So you have the first thing is sort of a title where it says subscribe our newsletter. You can do something here, and then this is the 4-column layout where you have this some text about us, and then there are some links, and here you have some link as well, and some copyright information. So I transferred this one to here. Basically I tried to close I try to make it as close as possible, but it is not exactly the same. But when the style and everything will come, then probably you will see the same thing here. Main content, obviously we are going to implement some template, data template, because data template is really important. Why? Because if you define a data template, then it would be easier for us to maintain and to put dynamic data. So what you just need is to create a item from that data template, and you can put some data there, and that will be automatically picking up here in the page. Okay, so that would be our intention. So if you compare here in this page, then what we are going to achieve now is just forget about this little carousel here. So that is really easy. So we have a out of the box control in the SXA where you can actually basically put some image, and you can also define some behavior through the widget. So that is really easy. We will do that. But today what we are going to do is, this is, you can see here there is some sort of teaser. So here you have the title that learn about us, some little information, or we can say some header content or main header content, you can say. So the idea is, as a content author, what you can do is, you can basically add another chunk of this information underneath this one. So you can say learn about us, or you can say something here, maybe not learn about us, maybe something you wanna create, or you can actually replace the entire this section learn about us to the other section. At the same time, you can also be able to add another section underneath this section, maybe something about maybe about our lawyer, something like this, about something, or any other information which looks similar to that, but that will be appeared underneath this one. So how we can do that through the Sitecore and SXA. So we'll see that one today, and then literally we'll next third video maybe we'll jump into converting that one, and then probably we'll try to implement the styling or theming in the later videos. So just do that. So let's create this one now. So what I'm gonna do for that is, I'm going to jump into the template section. I'm gonna create some template here now. So here you can see here in the template section we have the project. Inside the project we have this tenant, dev tenant. So inside the tenant you would have seen all the different templates. So now I'm gonna create a new template, and I'm gonna give it a name like header section, header top section, you can say. So how you actually design, this is up to you. So as a Sitecore designer, or you can say architect, you can actually think how you are going to organize the item. So what I'm thinking now is header top section container. So what I'm gonna create now is a container. So let me use the so the thing I shared first video is, every time if you want to create any template, try to extend your template from the page template. So that way you will get a lot of out of the box supported field and everything, every little information that you might need in future. So just use that one. Or if you don't want to use that one, in our case it won't be a page, it would be some sort of page content. So basically you can skip this part. You really don't need to use the page, but in order to keep it so simple, I'm just using the page template as my base template. So now here next, and then I just created my header top section container. So let's give it an icon. So for that, go configure an icon and just create some sort of icon like this one. Okay, and now I can say here that header section, and you can say here components, and let's use tree list here, and then save it. Okay, so the idea is, okay, let me go option and let me enable the standard values for that. So I did that, and now what I am going to do is I will assign insert option. So that will be okay, let me do that later. So the container, what would be the container? So let me create in the home, this is my home item, insert from template. I'm going to create an item from this container, and again I am telling you this is totally up to you. So let me do that. Header top section container, and we can say header top section container insert. Right, so now in the header top section container, what I am going to do is that will enable our content author to so under this item container, we will have different header section, header component. So for that we will be needing another template. So let me create that template now. So I am going to create a template here, and the template called another template, and that template also be coming from the page template. So I'm going to use the page, and here we'll say header component, header top section component, for example. Okay, I did that. Now let me give it a icon again. So I'm gonna give this icon anything, and here I'll say, so if you compare this one, so we have a title, summary, maybe we can give it 2 different fields, and then there would be an image. So let me create that here. So you can say fields, and then you can say this is a section, and you can say title or header title single line, and then you can say summary would be multi-line text box. So just use multi-line text, and then we will have one image, and that would be my image field. So we're going to create a component. So now that is done. So the next thing we actually need this container. So container, we have a, where is the container? Here. So we have a container, and container has a tree list component. So what we are going to tell is that this container actually will contain any item which basically have a template of actually which have a parent of this header top section container. So anything underneath this item, so any item which will have a parent of this header top section container will be our component here. So for that, what we can do is we can use the XPath here. Sorry, not XPath. Actually, we can use the path, or you can say we can define the Sitecore XPath here. So let me do this. So I have created on, so you can actually follow the same kind of thing. So here, okay, so what we are gonna do is we are going to say, so use query. Basically this is the search first query. In the first query, what we are going to say is so the current site under the home, just use anything underneath this template. So this template would be basically, save it, this is the template. So copy this one, and then here in the builder we are simply paste this item. Okay, now we'll see that in a minute. And now again in the standard value assign, we are going to say is, let me remove this one, that we are going to add as an insert option with this header top section component. Okay, save it, and then now if you go here insert, then obviously you'll see header top section component, and we are actually going to give it this one, learn about us. So let me say learn about us. Okay, and for the sake of the example, what I'm gonna do, I'll create another one, the learn about our lawyer, for example. Okay, so learn about us and about our lawyer. Let me just keep that one as it is, and then here you will see interestingly that we would have had a section called component. You will see here, and automatically it is picking up this parent. So basically you can select how many actually you want to display in our component, or you can say in our section. So let me just put about our lawyer for now, or maybe this learn about us. Okay, save it. And what we are going to do now is to create a component, or you can say create a partial design. So in the partial design, we'll say this is our folder main content. Okay, inside that main content we are going to create all the different partial design that will be glued together in the page later on. So in the main content, let me create a partial design, but before that we need the design itself, right? Design means this design. We need to have some sort of rendering somewhere, so that we can use that rendering, and then we can create a partial design using that, and later on we can glue it together. So for that, the easiest way is to go to rendering variants, because this is the place where you can actually use any of this out of the box created, or you can say provided component. So that's actually the benefit. You can create obviously your own module, you can inject that module here, but I think the main magic of Sitecore Experience Accelerator is to have those different components you can actually use out of the box. So for our scenario, what we are going to use, we are going to use the page content. So in the page content, let me create a content called page I mean variant definition called header section. Okay, so in the header section, what we are going to do is we have a field. So just think about a scenario that first of all we need actually a reference field, because the idea is we are going to assign this this header top section container, and container itself has a template which has, so if you see the container template here in the header top section container, it has a tree list with a components field. So we are actually going to assign these components so that we can actually go each of this item here under this tree list. So tree list basically point all the different items from this from this location. So we are going to access all the fields under that item, and we are going to render that. So for that, what would be the easiest way is, let me copy the field name component and then jump into that where is it, jump into that that rendering variants. So basically this is the header section rendering variant. So we are going to render first of all a reference field, which is the components. So in the reference component means we are already inside that item, particular item, so which basically has this template, this component template, and it has basically 3 different fields. So we are using this container. So later on we'll assign this template, don't worry about this, but idea is we are going to use this component field as a reference field so that we can access any item underneath that. And basically if you see here, this component basically point this template, and it has this 3 header, title, summary, and image field. So we are going to render now that one. So now let me go here. Why it is slow? Okay. Let me expand the data, and now presentation, yeah, here. So in the component, let me right click, insert field. So the very first field is our header title. Okay, okay, so header title, let me check the header title. Yeah, header title. And then header title, what we are gonna do is we are gonna use the h1 tag in the header title. Okay, save it. And then we also be needing a summary field. So for that I am going to create a summary now. Why it is taking a lot of time. Okay, right click, insert. So we'll be needing another field called summary. So look, I mean this naming, right? So you need to use the exact name that you used in the template. So the field name must be matched between these two, otherwise Sitecore will not recognize the field. The summary, we are going to use div, everything is fine. Now the last one, we are going to use the image. So for that we are going to use another field and call it an image field, image name. And then what we are going to do is this image, if you look at the design, this is basically here some sort of floating left. So we are going to use the floating left as well here. So let me use as a maybe well, anything, but here data attribute, what we're gonna do is float left. Okay, save it, done. Now, so our page content means basically the small design of this is completed. So now what we are gonna do is we are going to use our page our partial design. So for that, let's go here in the partial design main content. Let me create on partial design called header components, you can say. Okay, now in the header components, what we are going to do, we are going to use the publish experience editor here, and in the experience editor now we are going to actually access the main content, not header, not footer, but the main content. So for that, the easiest way is to get your page content inside the main content placeholder. So I'm just going to do that. 1 second. Okay, so in the page content section, simply drag this page content in the main section, right? And then you'll see you will get some components. This is called content field, but we have different variation here because we created this header section, right? So we are going to use the header section, and then we'll save it. Now still this page content doesn't know about the template because we haven't assigned any template. So we just need to assign the template so that it can work from there. So remember the template that we worked on when we designed this one was basically the container template. So what you need to do, you need to select that one. You just need to go to associated content, and then you just need to select the data source for this page content basically, and that is basically this is your data source, page top container, right? So this is the data source, and then save it. So once you save it, then you will see you have this little title, summary, everything is popping up correctly. So you can simply say, so this is your lore ipsum summary, so paste it here, save it, and then here in the title you can say learn about us. So we'll do that now here. So say learn about us here, not here, here. Sorry. Okay, so your component is ready, although the design is not exactly same, but that will be controlled later on. So you can see here the mock is some sort of similar, but you can actually play around. There is a playground actually. So what you can do is you can basically use your variant. Here is your variant, rendering variants. So you have page content. So basically what you can do is you can go each of them and you can play around these different tag and something, so that you can make it closer to the design that you have. So now we have already a partial design, right? So what we are gonna do is the header components are ready, and now what we are gonna do in the default, just use the default one. The default one, we have now header, metadata, footer. So what we are gonna do is from the main content we are going to use the header component, and we are just drag and drop to here. This is the main part, and save it. And now if you open the experience editor, then you would have seen something like this. Just wait, and see. Awesome. Okay, so you can see here, this is your header section, underneath your footer section, and then here the dynamic content, learn about us with the content. And basically you can see, because since it is using the template, you have the data template for that, so you can basically go here and anytime you can update anything. Now what if there is another learn about us, then maybe our content author might have wanted another item similar underneath that one. So that is basically very simple, because what you have is here right now it has only one item. So anytime if you, for example, want this one about our lawyer and save it, and if you refresh this page, then you would have seen that one just appearing underneath that one. So we have now two separate section. One is learn about us, which has some sort of content that we have provided before, but this one is a sort of empty template coming up here. So if you have something here, so for example about our lawyer, so if you simply put the content here, so here you can say here this is about our lawyer, and you can actually say some summary like this, and you can save it, or you can actually go in the Experience Accelerator and you can straight away, you know, edit your content. This is totally up to you, but yeah, so you can see here now that item would be popping up here. See here, so we are actually getting similar sort of design that we have. And yeah, so no need to mention that if you really want to have a single sort of design, then anytime you can actually take one, and then that's it basically. If you refresh, then you will get the same sort of thing that you need it here. Okay, so that's basically the magic of sort of you know, SXA Experience Accelerator. And then yeah, so we just showed you guys how can you create your custom component, and you can control, and you can have your partial design, you can have your page design, you can have your different variants. So that actually you can use here. So in the next video, what I'm going to do is I am going to create the design part. So the number one I'll do is I will show you how actually you can apply different theming, and then I'll show you how actually you can create like, you know, different styles and everything. What would be the best practice for that? So third video, probably after applying the content of third video, you're gonna see similar sort of website here in terms of look and feel, and then I think we'll be able to use it in the real sort of SXA application development. So I hope I'll catch you very soon with that, guys, and till then, bye bye and have a good night.